All right, welcome back here to the Gill Connections Podcast. So humble to be your host, Mike Cunningham, National Business Development Manager for Gill, probably better known as the podcast guy, and of course even the Twitter guy. Look at that, we had Twitter pop up right there behind me if you're watching over on YouTube. Hey, listener, if this is your first time listening, first of all, thank you for being here. I really do appreciate that. Maybe you're friends with today's guest. Maybe that's why it's your first time here. I hope it's not your last time here. And for you guys and gals who are repeat listeners, man, thank you so much. You're our bread and butter, and just so grateful for your continued loyalty, your continued listens here for these amazing guests. Today is going to be a little different. I like to do this from time to time. We have on some of the most amazing men and women who choose to be track and field coaches around the country, sometimes around the world. I love them, love their journey, love what they've been teaching us about today's NCAA recruiting, academic standards, etc. It's been a lot of fun. But I also like to show off. I've always told you I've got the greatest job in the world, right? Well, the reason I have the greatest job in the world is because I have the greatest teammates in the world. And I like to showcase our teammates for a couple of reasons. One, I like to brag on them. They're really a bunch of great group of just servant leaders out there working with our dealers and working with our coaches on a daily basis. Love their just heart for our sport and our coaches out there. And also, I'd like for you guys just to get to know them. You probably have called in or you worked with a dealer and you probably worked with some of them and don't even know who they are, what they've been through, their journey in this great sport. And so I like to showcase that. So without further ado, help me welcome. He is on our East Coast. He runs our East Coast sales operations and sales and things like that. He's our throws expert. We'll figure out, did he even ever throw? I bet you he did, right? We'll talk about that. And he's our NCAA Division II liaison, helping us run that great stage, indoor and outdoor national championships. So help me welcome from Gill Athletics, the wise and wonderful Mr. Payton Taylor. Payton, what's up, man? Welcome to the show.
What's up? Thanks for having me on, Mike.
Is it weird? You are literally 100 feet away from me. Is it weird to be on a Zoom call with just me? We're not in a meeting with a bunch of other people.
Yeah,
It's just me and you.
it is a little weird that I'm not just in your office, kind of, but
Well, we used to do that because my office
yeah,
used to be just the studio and I had a separate office. But your boss, Tim, kicked me out. He
right.
was just so rude. He wanted his own office. I mean, why? Come on. And so I decided to convert the studio into the office. Still have the studio though, man.
Yeah,
It's a little warm
looking good.
sometimes. Well, thanks, man. What about the studio?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, you
yeah,
were I
yeah.
thought
I
you
was
meant.
talking about that.
Oh, I thought that's embarrassing.
You too, I guess. So
I heard that, I guess, sir. That's on record now. Peyton, uh, how long have you been here with us now? I keep saying a year and a half, but I'm not sure it's a year and a
j-
half.
almost a year and a half. I think a
Okay.
year and 4 or 5 months.
Okay, we're going to call that a year and a
Yeah,
half. When
yeah.
I'm not sure when you're listening to this, but when we record this, it is the middle of April. So probably when you're listening to this, it's probably actually starting in the summer. So he's going to be a full year and a half with us. First of all, thanks for being here. Not just here for the show, man. I'm just so grateful. I say it's been like I feel like more than a year and a half because I've done so much with you with D2s and just training and things like that. You're a great addition to the team, and I'm just pumped that you're part of our team, my man.
Thanks. It's been awesome. I feel like the last year and a half, it's just kind of flown by. It's been crazy,
Yeah,
and like I feel like I've done so much too.
Yeah. I tell you what, I'm an old man. I've been here 20 years. I've been 20 of your Gill lifetimes. I've done it, right?
Yeah.
In fact, I was just talking to our big boss, Steve, about this. We are doing a better job of when we get guys like you who have just so much talent, so much passion of getting you involved much quicker than we used to.
Yeah.
When I started back in '06, brother, they barely let me touch a computer. They were like, man, Mike, you might screw some things up. You need to learn first. We kind of just proverbially threw you in the deep end and said, hey, man, you need to figure this out. Here, go call these people and ask
Mhm.
questions. And hey, go talk to this guy and ask him this question, this gal about this. And it takes a special person to do that. And you have just done it with a plum, my friend. You've definitely set the bar high for the next people that come in.
Appreciate it. Appreciate
Awesome,
it.
man. Well, Peyton, I do like to share with our listeners more about our people. Again, we can build stuff, and that's awesome. We build great pole vault poles, pole vault pits, hurdles, all that kind of things. Oh, I'm sorry, you're a thrower. Shot puts, discuses,
Yeah.
javelins, cages, all that kind of stuff. And that's awesome. But it's a human being that makes and welds and creates and designs and sells and services that equipment. And so I like to kind of peel behind the curtain and show off our people. So let's get to know you a little bit better, my friend. Assuming, well, see, my general line is assuming you were an athlete, but I know you were an athlete.
Yeah.
Let's talk about you, my friend. Where in the world does track and field start for you?
So for me, track was really never a main spot in my mind growing up. Like we were always a baseball family.
Hmm.
Like I grew up, I wasn't even sure I was going to do track in high school. Like I was always baseball. So then junior high, I started in sixth grade. And so my dad, he won state when he was a junior high in Illinois in the hurdles. So I was like, oh, I'll go do hurdles and see if I can win state like him.
Best event ever.
Yeah, yeah. So that's where I started with hurdles.
Nice. I
Fun
knew I
fact.
liked you. Hmm.
Yep, yep. So started there. And then I was like a bigger kid. So I picked up the shot put one time and I actually threw it decent for, a sixth grader just because I was bigger than everyone.
Hmm.
I was one of those kids that grew faster than everyone. And then eventually everyone caught up to me in height. But yeah, so started in sixth grade with that and kind of just fell in love with it and did hurdles, high jump, and shot and disc. So that's where
Wow.
it started with me. Did that sixth grade, seventh grade. In eighth grade, I think my last hurdle race was as a seventh grader.
Yeah. Did
Yeah.
you, when, how was it decided? Okay, let's stop doing the hurdles. Was it because other people, it was like, oh, okay, people who were born to be hurdlers are starting to surpass you a little bit too much here? Or was it like, hey, man, you're actually doing pretty good at this shot put thing. Let's just focus over there.
I think it was a little bit of both. My throws coach, he never liked that I was doing other events.
Okay.
Like, never at all. He's like, you're going to get hurt.
Oh,
But one of those. But it was a little bit of both. My main goal was to make it to state as in hurdles. I was like,
mhm.
that's all I wanted to do. And I mean, I made it in sixth grade, shot and disc, no problem for seventh grade. And then my seventh grade year is when I made it to state in hurdles for the first time.
Oh,
And then,
nice.
yeah, I went on, was all nervous, started off the race all, great, then hit a hurdle, and then I face planted.
Oh, no. Wait, that's what happened to you. Oh, that makes sense now.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. You got it. But I'm pretty sure that was my last hurdle race ever.
Oh,
I think.
what a way to go out.
I think, at least in my memory, that's my last one.
Yeah. That's all you remember because you face
Yeah. Yeah.
planted. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So wait a minute, you're a baseball family. Track is in the spring. I'm always amazed, and it's very rare when a baseball player plays track. What happened to baseball?
So Salt Fork passed a rule, I think my eighth grade year or my freshman year. They passed a rule allowing dual sports. So I did baseball and I threw.
Oh, so you were doing both.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the whole
That's
time. And
tough.
like in high school, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to college for either football or baseball. Like I was
Hmm.
never in mind to
Wow.
track. Like it was like never even thought about.
Huh.
Like I knew I could, but like at the time I was like I didn't have any interest in that.
Yeah.
And so I did baseball and track in the spring, which honestly it was it was a lot on the body just, with and then along with that we had football in the mornings
Hmm.
and then throws coach made me throw sometimes at like 6:30 in the morning, which was like brutal right before school on like cold spring days in Illinois.
Yeah.
Then sit there all day and then go baseball for a little bit and then do track again that night. Yeah, it was long, long days, but it was definitely worth it, I
Did
would
you
say.
do all three sports all 4 years?
Yeah, so besides my senior year because COVID, I didn't have a
Oh, you're
senior year.
20 grad.
Yep.
I forget how
Yep.
young you are. Okay.
Yeah.
As you're doing all three sports, it's interesting that spoiler alert, my guy Payton throws in college. But it's interesting that you said that was like, maybe I could throw in college, but you know what? I'm baseball or football
Yeah.
here. How did that change? Like something had to have changed there.
I would say just as I got older throughout high school, I wasn't getting recruited to play baseball or um, football. Like I was, but not by anyone that I would have thought about going
Hmm.
to. But then that's how I kind of my mark started to stick out because track's a little different where you can throw something far and
Right.
then that's how you get recruited. And it's a little bit harder. I feel like for smaller schools for baseball or
I think so.
football,
Hmm.
basketball. So
Hmm.
that's kind of how I stuck to track there.
I agree. I coached college for 10 years and um, I always said, like in my events, sprints, jumps, and hurdles, if a kid runs 10 flat in high school in the 100, well, that's the same 100 in college. Like it's an easy comparison. I don't care if they're 6'2" or 5'2". If they run the marks I need them to go or jump the marks, well, I'm good. Hurdles a little different, right? Because they go from 39 to 42, and obviously in the throws, they go up as well. But I have a basis. Like every high schooler that I've ever recruited that threw 60 foot in the shot put ended up going at least 55 feet in the college or what. There's a comparison.
Yeah.
Football and baseball, brother. It's like you could, bat 600 in high school, and it's like, well, yeah, but is he from No Town, USA, where the
Yeah.
pitcher is Mike Cunningham? So of course he's throw. It's like this guy can't hit a college pitcher. So much harder, I think, our football, baseball, basketball. I think
Yep.
those guys, it's much.
Hmm.
It's got to be much tougher.
Definitely.
What kind of athlete were you? And what I mean by that is I don't care about your PRs. I never,
Yeah.
in fact, I don't know your PRs. I've never asked. I don't really care because that doesn't mean you're going to become a better or not so good coach, sales professional, etc. What I mean when I say what kind of athlete were you, because we know, spoiler alert, you're in the business of track and field. So track becomes something for you. It's a passion.
Yeah.
Were you the kind of kid, and it doesn't have to necessarily be with your track coach, could be with baseball or football. Like, were you in coach's office, like not in a challenging way, but like in an inquisitive way of like, hey, so why did we throw on Monday and then only lift it on Tuesday? Or, why did you have us do gassers at the end of baseball when we only run 60 meters, like inquisitive, like almost coaching
Yeah.
like?
Yeah. I wouldn't say I was always in the coach's office, but I did a lot of research on like what my coach was having me do and like
Mm,
if it was, beneficial or not. Or I was always doing research on things I could add, to get that 1% better. Like I
mm-hmm,
was always trying to find more and more, just the little things to just add up to get better.
mm-hmm. I forget we usually, not usually, but it's not irregular that I'll have, a guy my age, 50 years old or whatever, a
Hmm.
gal my age, and we didn't have YouTube and the internet.
Yeah.
You grew up, that's just a part of your growth. So
Oh
you had
yeah.
access to like, hey, why did we throw the 20 pounder today?
Oh
And
yeah.
things like that. Yeah.
I
What
lived on YouTube.
is that right?
Oh yeah. Like whenever I started something new, I would be like YouTube that, YouTube this, and just try to find extra ways on YouTube.
Not just track, like football and baseball and
Oh, any sport I ever picked up, like even like side sports like ping pong or pool, I was always looking up on YouTube how to get better.
is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
And math and English as well. Yeah.
Not
Okay, that's
quite.
fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
just checking.
yeah.
Just
More
wanted to see
just
where. Yeah, yeah,
games,
yeah. I'm with it. I just want to see where it was. And what about this? Because I'm gonna say what kind of kid were you in high school? You're still so young. You're a kid to me, Peyton. I'm that old. But a lot of us old people will shake our fist at the sky and be like, these young kids, they don't know who the top shot putters in the world or what it even takes to go to college. Were you like a track nerd? And maybe it's not track, maybe you're gonna tell me it's baseball or football, but like you knew who Ryan Krauser was going through high school. You knew such and such university always had the national champion discus thrower, etc. Do you know any of that, or were you just like, man, I pick up the shot and I
um,
throw it?
honestly, at the time, I was just picking up the shot and throwing
Mm-hmm,
it.
mm-hmm.
Like I didn't really like more of I was a nerd for football stuff
Hmm.
just because it's always on TV
Yep, yep,
and a little bit basketball. But for track and field, I kind of just showed up and did
yeah.
the work. I wasn't really nerding out on that too much.
Yeah, I have a lot of grace for 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. Well, I think I would love for you to tell me like, oh man, I knew Ryan Krauser's birthday and social security number. I guess I would like that, but I also have a lot of grace that you were 17 freaking years old,
Yeah,
trying to figure out how to pass math class, how to figure out baseball and track practice on the same day. Prom's coming up. I've got to pick a school. I mean, you have so many
yeah,
things. Whatever your favorite TV show. I mean, there's just so many things. It's like, brother, we can't all be nerds, especially as a 17-year-old for crying out loud. Now, as a 20 something year old, as a sales professional, I have a little bit of expectations like, well, you need to be a little bit nerd of like the process and how we
yeah,
serve our cut, but it's like, man, as a
yeah.
17-year-old kid, it's like, brother, you're a kid. You have all grace for me of like, coach told me to do this and I just did it. Like that
Hmm.
makes a lot of sense.
Yep.
Okay, so you're graduating in 20. So fall of 19, it's senior year.
Hmm.
You're playing football, you're excited for baseball and track season, and then COVID hits. Tell us about what were you thinking about college, and did COVID change any of that? And what did you end up doing?
Yeah, so it was actually, I want to say I had one meet that indoor year, but it was a week after my basketball season ended, just about. So there wasn't much practice. It was more of, through like 3 or 4 times and then
Hmm.
went in the meet. And the meet was actually at Illinois State,
Oh,
the high school
nice.
meet.
Yeah.
So at that time, I wasn't sure where I was going to end up going.
And still not sure what sport?
Yeah,
Like, did you still have a
exactly.
shot?
Yep.
Yep.
At the same time, I was talking to coaches for football, just a little bit smaller schools,
Hmm. Hmm.
but that's where I was leaning towards. And then everything shut down.
Hmm.
And then I was like, And I started to think a little bit. And at that time, I already went on my visit at Illinois State, I want to say during basketball season.
For
So,
track?
yes, yes,
Hmm.
sir. And at that time, I was like, I loved Illinois State. It was close, and they had a pretty solid ag program. So
Mm.
that's what I was going into was ag. And so that was like the number one school in my mind there.
Hmm.
So at the time, I was like, oh, I'll try to, do football there.
Hmm.
And that didn't end up working out. So once COVID hit, reality hit me. So I was like, I need to do track. That's like my
Mm.
one opportunity. So I'm going to take it. So that's how I ended up getting into Illinois State for that.
Yeah, is that right? How
Yep.
does it's interesting. Uh, COVID. Yeah, what year were you born?
2001.
When's your birthday? It doesn't matter. You wouldn't remember it. Next time I ask you your social security number. No. So in 2001, 9/11 happened. And that's something a person of my age, we know, like I'm sure I could go ask your parents, where were you? And we know it's one of the
Yeah.
major things that happened. COVID is another one of those where we all remember when it all shut down, whatever we were doing, whether we were working in athletics, etc. And I remember for me, this would have been so I was 15 years on the job. We were at the NCAA Division I championship in New Mexico, but I'm working like we're getting the equipment set up. We're getting ready for the meet to start. Our social is that night, et cetera, et cetera. And I remember what we had to go through as a company inside of track and field and sports, and as a 45 or whatever age I was at that time. What does a 17, 18-year-old kid think? It's senior year. That is, I was half at best an athlete that you were, Peyton, and I was excited about my senior year. What happens when coach tells you, put the shot down, brother, and I don't know when you're going to pick it back up?
Yeah. So at the time, it was like it started out with school being closed for a few weeks or whatever it was.
We all had
At the
hope.
time, yeah, I was at the time I was honestly like obviously like, oh, awesome, school's out. We don't have to go to school. I'm like, so
That's
I was
great.
actually kind
Yeah, yeah.
of partially excited. I'm like, oh, no school, I can stay at home. And so that started to happen. Then we're like, oh, you can't go to practice now. And I'm like,
Mm.
that's annoying. But honestly, I didn't mind it at all just because. So my brother, he also throws. He's
Mhm.
still in college right now.
Mhm.
And at the time, he was a freshman,
Mm.
and I was a senior. So I was looking forward to having a throwing season with him in high school. I thought that would have been pretty cool,
Yeah.
but that would have been awesome. But that's why it wasn't that bad being at home, just because we had everything we needed to train and throw. Like we threw at home, we lifted at home, like we got everything done at home.
Is that
So we,
right?
yeah, so we got to do that every single day.
Under any kind of guidance, meaning like, did coach say, hey, this week do that? Or were you guys YouTubing it and just screwing around? I mean, screwing around, not in a negative way, but like, not structured like a coach would.
Everything that me and him did, I just programmed myself.
Hmm.
Because at the time that I was doing, I had all these books, all the YouTube videos. Like I put in a lot of thought of like training and everything like that. So
Yeah.
I made everything for us, and it was kind of he just followed what I did,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
basically.
Yeah, I would hope so. Yeah, your big brother,
Yeah.
exactly. You said before the stoppage of the world, you visited Illinois State. I've had a couple of parents that have talked to me, and I never thought about this. Parents that had seniors, so same year as you, that couldn't take visits or didn't take,
Yeah.
only took one and didn't take the other four or whatnot. And so they did a lot of, and even through the next year, when things were still a lot shut down for visits, they did a lot of Zoom visits for school. And now, two or three, I had a really long conversation. I won't mention the family because it's not my business to put their tea out there. But a highly respected thrower. I mean, went power four. I mean, she's really good. And I was thinking about transferring. I was like, man, it's a great school. What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Love the coach. I mean, all this kind of stuff. And it was like, she did her visit on Zoom and that's not a connection. Then they got there. I was like, oh, this really isn't what I
Yeah.
wanted. I was like, man, that really stinks. Did you feel, you can kind of look back now, you got 2020 hindsight here. Uh, do you feel like you missed out on whether it's college visits or, man, I know I did a lot of studying and me and brother, practice stuff, but I still didn't have a coach. I didn't get to go throw. There's competition, things like that. Do you feel a little robbed or a little bit like, it's what happened?
I mean, kind of now it's like whatever, you know, even
Mm-hmm.
like right after it, I wasn't, upset about it
Mm-hmm.
because what am I going to do about it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, once the season actually got decided to, we're not doing it, that's when I was like, ah, because at the
Mm-hmm.
time they were like, we'll just push everything back into summer, I think is what they
Right.
were talking about. So I was like, oh, I'll just keep training, and then eventually like, yeah, we're not doing it. So part of me then was like a little heartbroken just because, oh, there goes,
Yeah.
all for nothing kind of, but not really, just because
Yeah.
we, transferred into college. But
Yeah.
at the time, yeah, a little bummed out, but had to move on and haven't really thought about it since, really.
Yeah. Sorry to bring up that. Haven't really thought about it until now, Mike. Thanks a lot. Yeah,
Yeah, thanks,
appreciate
Mike.
that. Okay, so you decide you're going to Illinois State. You're going to throw no more. I mean, gosh, you've been doing every sport in the
Yeah,
world. You're going to focus on track and field. And you, as that age, as a 17, 18-year-old kid, you went in you were going to, because you live on a farm, your family owns farms,
yep,
your now wife, they own farm, live on farms. You're a farm family is who you are. So you were going to go study agriculture. You're going to go be a farm
yep,
farm guy. Yeah.
yep. I majored in ag business, so
Ag business.
yep.
Uh, so talk to me about college. How did throwing go? Did you still try to walk? I know a lot of people love football and they never get it.
Um,
Tell me
I
about that.
would say my freshman year, I was a little bit still attached to like other sports, like just because I was used to doing everything. But track took up a lot of time, and then I feel like once I got into the groove, it wasn't until my freshman outdoor year is when I like really fell in love with like track. Like
Mm,
I really got, I was like, oh, I'll lock in just all focus just on track. And then I kind of started to enjoy the process of everything just so
mm,
much more and, stopped focusing on other sports and like, oh, what if I did this?
hmm.
But really, my freshman year outdoors when I really like things clicked, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna lock in and do this, and ride this thing out and see where it takes me."
How was your transit? I'm always amazed.
Yeah.
12 pounds to 16 pounds that's 100 pounds, brother. And 1.6 to
hmm
2K, not only the weight, but it gets bigger. How did you handle that transition?
Yeah. So it was rough. I would say I was a smaller thrower for
Right.
shot and disc for sure. Like just over 6 foot, just a skinnier kid. So obviously I had to bulk up a lot in college.
Hmm.
So that was like my main focus, just getting stronger that freshman year and getting bigger and used to the heavier implements. But once you get used to it, it's really not that bad. Just the discus was fine. Like that, that's not that bad of a transition just because it's a discus, it's not that heavy. But the 12 to 16 pound kind of kicked my butt.
Yeah.
Definitely during that summer after COVID, you know, you, that kicked my butt big time. Like that was heavy
It's a
for just a
different
weak
event.
little boy. I know.
It really is. It's amazing to me. What you mentioned that you fell in love with the sport. Like, okay, this freshman year, I'm gonna say you quit letting football and basketball and baseball be a distraction. And you kind of like, this is almost like when the buy-in period, like, okay, I'm bought in. I'm a track kid.
Yeah.
I'm a thrower. And you mentioned the process. What does that mean to you? You fell in love with the sport, and then you mentioned process right after that.
Um, I just felt like for my freshman year, just seeing for me and my teammates around me, like all of our weight room numbers just go up. That was like awesome. Like I enjoyed the weight room a lot in college
Hmm.
and just the process of just getting stronger and then understanding things better, like the whole throw in general and just shot disc and then started getting into hammer a little bit, picked up
Hmm.
that and just enjoying the process of getting better with the team around me.
Hmm.
That's what I enjoyed.
Hmm. This makes sense. What I know of you, you like to see growth. You like to see
Yes.
things keep stacking on it. How did you, I'm assuming, because I think it probably happens to 99% of the throwers, the first time in competition you throw the 16-pound or the 2K discus, that mark is less than what your PR was in the 12-pound or 1.6. I'm assuming
Hmm.
that's the same for you.
Yeah.
I do know some freaks that the first time
Yeah.
they throw the 16, it was more than their high school PR, which is crazy. How
Yep.
did that like it should, as a coach, we look at it and go, well, how do you can't even compare, man? It's 4 more pounds in the shot. Like they're different numbers, they're different events essentially, right? Don't worry that
Yeah.
it's 10 feet less or whatever. But I also understand an 18-year-old kid who wants to be good. How did you do you remember that first time you threw the shot and it was 4 or 5, whatever feet under the high school PR? And how
Um,
did you react to that?
yeah, definitely for shot put. I don't really remember discus that much. I feel like discus was almost close to the same just mentally,
Hmm.
but shot put was definitely, that big difference, just the big gap in between, the 16,
Hmm.
12 pound. So the distances were,
Drastic.
major.
Yeah.
I would say first, I honestly didn't think about it that much because, the 12-pound, I'm like, yeah, that's high school. I'm moved on now. So I never really looked back at high school marks really much
Yeah.
at all.
I mean, it's a pretty mature response.
Hmm.
I'm willing to bet not every one of your teammates had that
Yeah,
same reaction. I mean,
definitely.
it's you know,
Yeah.
you're part of getting to college to throw and be in track and field at any event is being competitive. And so as
Yeah.
competitive people, when you see like, man, I threw 55 and now I'm throwing 50, like I've been, oh, and by the way, been busting my hump all fall. Wait a minute, what do you mean I'm throwing 3 feet, 4 feet
Yeah.
worse? And it's like, yeah, again, different events. So I like that maturity. And I could see, again, I know you, so I could see that maturity.
Yeah.
Talk to us about your relationship with I think you had more than one throws coach during your time there. How was
Yeah,
that?
so starting off, I had, Jeffrey Rebels. He was great. He
Yeah.
taught me everything really to get into things. And then I had him for a year. So I had three total coaches, and then I had Amanda Youngblood
Oh yeah.
for a year. She was awesome. And then my last, wait, I had three coaches, but I had Turk. So Mike Turk for my last year.
Yeah, nice.
And he really helped me, I would say a lot because I had an injury right before my last year. I tore a ligament in my wrist, so I had surgery. And so that recovery process, Turk was with me through all that.
Hmm.
And he really helped me, get back mentally and obviously physically,
Hmm.
just to get back on the throwing. And my biggest problem, I feel like during that time was I wanted to push things so like fast, so hard.
Hmm.
And, Turk kind of had to hold me back a little bit. And, we had a lot of talks throughout that time just to, calm down. And
Hmm.
it actually ended up paying off and he got me back. And I feel like he had one of the most influences on like my future from there.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I've known Mike for a long time. He used to be the head coach at Western Michigan when I was at Ball State University, and he had a really great hammer thrower, Dale Cowper, went on to coach a lot of great
Yeah.
college throwers, and we had a really good hammer thrower, Zach Ball, and so those two literally were 1-2 in the MAC conference, and then would go on and get fourth and fifth or whatever at nationals, and so it was
Yeah.
just a battle every time and Mike just did an amazing job. I loved it. Hammer is my favorite event, man, outside
Hmm.
of hurdles. It's my favorite throwing event. I just love it's a cool event. Did you get to do much hammer or no?
So once I got wrist surgery, I picked it up. Well, not picked it up. I threw it a little bit with Rebels and Youngblood, but it
Mhm.
wasn't like serious. Like at the time, I don't remember what my PR was, but I started picking it up with Turk. Like actually, he was having me train it.
Mhm.
In the first meet of that year with Turk, I had an 8 meter PR in hammer, which was hilarious at the time. We were like, what the heck? But I started throwing it then, and then once I, eased my way, not away from hammer, but I also was doing shot and disc a little bit
Yeah.
more than hammer.
Yeah. You would have been a good hammer thrower. Uh,
Yeah, I just never really got into it.
yeah. Yeah. It's one of those things since we don't do it in high school,
Yeah,
you gotta kind of do it right at the out the bat in the freshman year and then grow into it as the years come along. It's tough to, not start taking it serious till senior year. And it's like, man,
yeah,
that's 3, 4 years. We ain't got, we don't get those back, guys. So
yeah.
that can be tough. All right. Senior year, last year at Illinois State, you're getting this ag degree, ag business. You got to be thinking about, oh, I got to go do something. I'm going to go back to the
Yeah.
farm. I'm going to run my own business. What in the world does Peyton do?
So I had to take some summer classes to finish my degree. Like I had to take 2 classes. So that summer I was taking summer classes, and then my dad works at the Salt Fork High School, like maintenance and stuff like that outside.
Right.
And so that summer I worked with him all summer. Like basically what I did was just mow the school, and then I helped them put up some basketball hoops in the gym, just stuff like that.
Hmm.
So worked with him throughout that whole summer doing stuff to the school, just summer projects all summer, and did that while I was finishing up school. And at that time as well, I was looking for jobs.
Hmm.
I had no idea what I really wanted to do.
Really?
Like I knew I'm like, yeah, I want to work in ag, like just some sort of ag. Like I wanted to get into some sort of ag sales role.
Hmm.
And
No coaching at all? Coaching isn't in your thought
well, I mean,
process?
I have my brother, which I basically have,
Yeah. Yeah.
we've like throughout his high school, I was writing his programs and
Right.
everything like that. So he was like my athlete, I
Yeah.
guess
Yeah.
you would
Yeah.
say. I
Yeah.
don't know, but I enjoy coaching him more than anything,
Hmm.
obviously. But um, sorry, where was I?
So
Oh,
so I was
yeah,
asking where coaching was because you're talking about like I definitely want to be an ag sales, something like that.
yeah. So I wanted to be in ag sales, and at the time, Garrett was still at home during the summer, and he was training, and I was, trying to train with him when I could, or work out with him mainly. I didn't really throw much after,
Sure.
obviously, but I still lifted with him and helped him out. But I saw this job. I don't know how I saw it. I was just looking up, like I looked up like sales or something
Hmm.
online one random night. I was like, Gill Athletics. And I knew of Tim, being at ISU. I knew
Hmm.
Tim. And I had someone at Illinois State was talking about Tim one random day. I was like, yeah, he's here. We got this shot put from Tim. He works at Gill Athletics. And at the time, I'm like, Gill Athletics. Like I didn't really realize what Gill Athletics was.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like I see Gill everywhere. And I'm like, growing up, I'm like, oh, Gill, just what
Right.
people use.
Right.
And I was like, and then I saw the sales rep Gill Athletics, and I was like, oh, that this just makes sense.
Hmm.
Like just getting out of track. And I don't know what I want to do. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm gonna apply, and then now I'm here. So
Yeah. It doesn't surprise me. I'm more surprised when an athlete says, "Oh yeah, I know Gill. They're in Champaign." Like, because it's like, well, why would you know? We're not a physical store, so it's not like they go here, right?
Mhm.
Now, certainly they may jump on a Gill pit or throw a Gill discus or something like that. So, but to much like we have plenty of coaches on the show that don't realize, even through college, that they can become a coach. Like it's right in front of them. I mean, there's somebody in front of you who's getting paid, and they don't even realize until at some point they go, "Oh, wait a minute, my coach is getting paid, and they seem to have maybe that's what I should be in a career." So it's no different to me that someone sees Gill in front of them on all their shots, all their discuses, and doesn't even think like, "Oh, there's a company. They probably have to have salespeople and
yeah,
other activities. Maybe I should look into it." So it doesn't surprise me at all. Even someone who grew up a stone's throw away from
yeah,
Gill. Again, why would you ever? have come here. Like
Right.
we don't have a
Yeah.
physical store, so it makes a lot of sense. So
Mhm.
you see that position and decide to apply for it and go through the interview process. How was be real with me? How was the interview process? I'm not sure if I was involved or if I was on the road. I don't remember.
So actually, during that process, I applied, and it was during harvest season. So
You
I was
ag
actually,
guys, of course.
yeah, yeah. So I was actually in the tractor when Tim called me. Well, I'll get to that.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, so the interview process came in, like I drove all the way here, put up my GPS. I was like, I've never been back in this part of Champaign ever.
But
I'm like,
when you put it in your GPS, was it Apple Maps or Google Maps?
Apple Maps, of
I'm shocked
course.
you got here. Okay, keep going. That's a little
Yeah,
inside joke there, but he
me
knows
too, actually.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't end up in Indiana,
Took me the
brother.
wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was like, crap. Um. Anyway, got here, and I was like, this place is in the back of like nowhere. I'm like, this place,
hmm
but like pulling up, I'm like, this place looks sweet. Like this is awesome.
Right.
And I walked in and got the interview and then did the factory tour and like
hmm
showroom tour and everything. I'm like, oh my goodness, this place is like so much more than what people realize or like just by looking at the building itself. I'm like, this place is awesome.
Yep.
And I think the factory tour and showroom tour and everything like that really showed me a lot
Hmm.
and made me like want to work here. Just at
Hmm.
that time, I'm like, this place, like they can do all this, they do all this and then cover, so many different schools
Right.
and facilities. I'm like, this is awesome. So that kind of intrigued me. And then after the interview process, I went back to Harvest because I had to take a half day off. Sorry, Dad, on Harvest. And I came back. He was asking me how everything went. I'm like, yeah, I think it went good. I was like, I think I should get the job, but we'll see. And then I don't know how many days went by or whatever, but we were I was in the tractor and Tim called me. I was like, oh, and it was probably so loud on that phone for Tim. It was probably,
Yeah.
yeah. And he called me. He's like, oh, congrats, blah blah blah, blah. And then I got the job, and
Nice.
I so in tractors, I don't know if you know this, like the two ways in tractors.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like CBs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically, I
yeah.
got I got on the two way. I'm like, Dad, and he's like, what's up, son, or whatever. And he was like, I was like, I got the job, and he was ecstatic. And so
Oh,
that was pretty cool. I'll never forget that moment. That was awesome.
I don't get to see that side.
Yeah,
And I've again being here 20 years, you do a lot of things, and I've been able to be involved in a lot of hiring process, hiring decisions and stuff. And so I don't ever get to see that. So that means a lot. That it meant a lot to you. That you were excited.
yeah.
That's the way it should be. You mentioned baseball earlier, and when we're recording this, we have just offered a former baseball coach of yours, Jeff Desmond, the position, and he's accepted it to work on our soccer and field sports division. And I had lunch with him today. I forgot to tell you this, by the way,
Hmm.
because
That's
he's going
cool.
to start in July,
Yeah.
but we're going to do some things. He's going to come to some trainings and things like that. And he is so like it's been cool. I led his hiring process with his interviews and stuff. Like he's so excited. Like I mean, he's just like he doesn't start for 3 months and I'm already
Right.
holding. You know me, I'm holding him back. Like I'm like, relax, brother.
Yeah.
You're trying to become 100% prepared for day one. No one does. Sorry, even with all these things that we're going to be able to do before your actual day one, and he's a very prepared guy. You know him fairly well. And today I told him you'll appreciate this. I was like, Jeff, you obviously have a very prepared, like you like to be prepared. I go, you're going to need to be comfortable with being unprepared. Like there's going to be things that we just
Mhm.
until the customer calls and tells you X, Y, and Z, and then you got to go figure it out. It's like
Mhm.
there is no prepared for the millions of different X, Y, Z's that happen out there.
Yeah.
But he's so excited. So I love hearing that
That's
not
awesome.
only were you excited, you got on the two way and was like, Dad, I got the job, and he was excited.
Yeah, because it was my first job, like
Yeah,
ever.
yeah,
So, and like at the time, we were like not worried, but obviously, I'm like type of person like, why don't I have a job yet? You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I know that
And
from you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Dad's like, calm down, everything will be fine. And I was like, all
Dad's
right.
an old feller like me. He's like, relax.
Yeah, yeah,
You're freaking
exactly.
21, 22. Chill
Yeah,
out. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But yet he's like, but you need to get a job, brother.
yeah.
Actually, he's
Got
like,
to.
it's okay if you don't. Well, I got harvest season here. We're okay. I need you.
Right. He said as long as it's after
That's
harvest.
right. That's right. So what were you, I always tell people, yes, I do believe because I've been on both sides that there are some components to coaching that belie themselves to selling, especially the way we sell. And Peyton, you know this because on day one we talk about this. We sell differently than others out there. Now you're not coming from the coaching side, but you know coaches, you know the sport, you've been involved in it, you've seen different aspects, you've seen officials, different aspects of the sport. You had to have, because you went through the interview process, you read the job description, you asked a lot of questions, we answered them, things like that. You had some assumption of what the job was. And then you get here and you find out what the job is. We try to describe it as well as we can, but until
Yeah,
you sit in the seat, I just don't know
yeah,
how we
for sure.
fully convey it, right? What surprised you the most? Either you
Um,
thought you're going to be able to do this and actually you don't, or you didn't realize like, oh man, I didn't realize I get to do this. Anything that surprised you?
ah, I mean, that's a good question. I feel like, the job description covers a lot,
Good.
but, day-to-day stuff,
Hmm.
I feel like every day there could be something new
Yeah.
pop up or like
Yeah.
some, a new question where like I have to go learn something else. Just there's a lot within, athletics that we do here.
Right.
I just, I mean, not a lot surprised me.
Hmm.
I would say just the, amount of people we work with,
Yeah.
dealers,
Hmm.
coaches, just,
Hmm.
the constant amount of people that, we reach out to
Hmm.
us. I feel like that kind of surprised me,
Yeah.
just keep them up with everyone. But honestly,
Yeah.
nothing crazy surprising.
That makes a lot of sense because even though as heavily involved in track and field as you were, college athlete, that's a big time position. You're helping out your little brother, so you understand coaching, you knew your coaches, things like that. You still are in a very myopic small part of it. You're in a niche of a niche of a niche. And until you
Yeah.
start working for a track and field manufacturer, and it's especially the world's largest track and field manufacturer, you didn't even think like, oh yeah, of course an official would call because they're
Mm,
looking for a 2K gauge versus a 1.6, and I got to go figure that out. Of course, actually, a mom would call me and say, "Hey, I'm buying my son a discus for Christmas. Which one do you recommend?" And you're like, "Oh my God, it's a
yeah.
mom, not a coach." That you talk to that person differently
Yeah.
than a coach. And those are just throws examples because Peyton, you oversee our east side, so you actually oversee our dealer network from Maine all the way down to Florida and go west to about the Kentucky, Tennessee area. That's a
Yeah.
large part. That's a lot of great track and field
Yeah.
going on that East Coast. A
Yeah.
lot of amazing dealers that do unbelievable. I mean, we don't get to do what we do without our dealers and thousands and thousands and thousands of track and field coaches. You are dealing with a distance coach calling asking about a cross country kit, flags and things like that, all the way up to, of course, those throwers to a sprint coach asking about what's the difference between an F10 and an F8 starting block. And you're like, I never even use starting blocks. Like, what in
Yeah.
the world? Hurdles, of course, which you can now tell them, well, I'm actually a former hurdler. So you actually have
Yeah.
that cred there.
Right.
Uh, how has that been? Has that been a little overwhelming at some times where it's like, man, I did not
Um,
realize I'd have to think about steeplechase and cages and pits and crossbar. I mean, it just goes on and on and on.
yeah, not really so much anymore, just because, I know that's expected.
Hmm.
But like the first few months, obviously learning, everything. It's like
Hmm.
drinking out of a fire hose. There's
Yeah.
just so much.
Yeah.
So maybe a little bit then, but honestly, it was enjoyable just, being so like busy, just
Yeah.
learning everything. Like, I was right out of college. I'm used to doing, so much.
Yeah.
So it's nice, just being busy, like always doing something.
Hmm.
That's what I think I enjoy. But
Yeah.
I forgot what the question was though.
No, what
Like,
surprised you or,
oh yeah,
expected? What about, so one of the cool things we get to do, it's really quite amazing. We get to do a lot of cool things. I always tell people I have the greatest job in the world. Not only do I get to work with Gill Athletics and people like you, Peyton, but I get to do this. I get to do the podcast. I get to talk to the coaches every day, 8 hours plus a day. There's a lot worse jobs out there, brother. I got the king of the king jobs here. But one of the cool things that you get to do, that we get to do, is the NCAA championship. So we're the NCAA equipment sponsors. So at every D1, D2, D3, indoor and outdoor championships, we provide all of the equipment: pole vault, throws, hurdles, blocks, you name it. We manufacture it and support it. And you, Payton, are our liaison, our lead for the NCAA Division II championships. And at the time of recording this, you've done 3 of those. You did last year's indoor, last year's outdoor, and this year's indoor. How has that experience been for you leading? I mean, you are the man for Division II for us.
Yeah, so that is one thing that kind of surprised me. Like at the time I knew that we did NCAA meets, but just seeing like everything that goes into actually, the championship meets, like
Right.
there is so much like moving pieces that puts everything together just to, because you only see the 3 days outdoor, 2 days indoor. You don't
Right.
see, the months leading up to it, all the preparation.
If the indoor championships are the first weekish, second weekend of March, when do you guys actually start meeting on a weekly basis?
I want to say it's a couple weeks after outdoor.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's, I mean, the week after outdoor, that's when we start. It's basically,
Mm-hmm.
just making sure everyone's on the same page, everything's lined up,
Yeah.
what we could
Post
change,
mortem
and
from
get
my, yep.
better. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. How was that? Has anything of that surprised you? Like, again, you don't know what you don't know. So you started having meetings, you pretty much probably right when you started working here, in preparation for 2025. Yeah, 2025's indoor. And you're like, oh, cool. We take the equipment there. That seems, when you just say
Yeah.
it that way, it seems, that's easy. Okay, whatever. But then you get into logistics that you help run, the social, the
Yeah.
packet pick, everything. Oh, by the way, bringing the equipment back home or selling it on a
Yeah.
used to the other coach. How did that, it's one thing to, I'm going to say air quotes here, be prepared, doing those meetings.
Hmm.
You're in those meetings, you're contributing and listening and learning. But then you actually get there. Where
Yeah.
were we for our first one? Was it Virginia
No, so
Beach?
I got lucky. I was over in Indiana. So just an hour,
Indiana. Yeah,
less than
yeah,
an hour and
yeah.
a half from home. So
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
super
But
easy.
correct, that's one of our easier ones, absolutely. But then I mean, you're 9, 10 days you're doing this thing. How was it when you're actually in the muck? Like, okay, we're undoing trucks and putting stuff out
Um,
there, and
I just remember, showing up and, having to, get the truck drivers to, unload at a certain spot, a certain time, and, manage all that. I'm like, wow, this is like afterwards, I'm like, this is kind of cool, like doing all this. But at the time, it's kind of overwhelming just for that first one. You're like, don't want to, mess anything up, or,
Mhm.
if anything is missing, like, don't
Yeah,
want anything to go missing, all that.
yeah.
So unload, it was fine. Just, and then I feel like setting everything up went fine, but I've never seen the pole vault standards get set up before.
Oh, right,
That's my first time seeing that. I'm like,
right.
this is great. That's my first time actually touching one of those things. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is crazy. But it was cool to see, and fun to be a part of.
How is it? I've been to all of the championships, D1, D2, D3. They're all amazing. Like, I literally,
Yeah.
if you don't tell me, besides seeing the name of the schools, if you don't tell me it's D1, D2, or D3, I really don't know, because the performances at all of them are just unbelievable. D2 is special, man. I mean, it's amazing. And I hate to say especially in the throws, because all the events are amazing, but man, the throwers at D2, they get it on, brother.
They're awesome. They're awesome, and honestly, that was my first time going to NCAA meet, but like watching just Division Two,
Hmm.
because ISU went to Grand Valley State, their big indoor meet,
Hmm.
and that's like huge. And I knew of Grand Valley State, but all of these other schools that I've never, heard of or
Hmm.
seen, I'm like, this is awesome, and all the performances are just as crazy. And I enjoyed watching my first. It was at Indiana, so I enjoyed watching indoor shot and
Hmm.
weight too, but more of shot. That was awesome to watch.
Right.
And all the D2 coaches are awesome to be around.
Hmm.
At the social, just a good time and good people.
Yeah. What how have you seen, I mean, you've done now, I'm gonna call it 3 championships, indoor, outdoor, indoor. How have you seen have you been able to see, let me ask it this way, have you been able to see input that you, because you're there, you look at that meet differently from your experience of being a thrower, of being a Division I thrower, and then as you continue to learn processes as a manufacturer, you learn like, oh, maybe we could do this. Have you been able to see input that you've been able to give to help us improve our service at NCAA, or is it still a little bit too young for you at this point? Does that make sense?
Kinda.
Yeah.
I'm a little confused on the
So
question.
everything, so providing equipment for the NCAA championships is not
Yeah.
as simple as its basic route of like, oh, we just put a pole vault pit down and
Yeah.
we just put down hurdles, etc. There's graphicking for the hurdles that we work for the equipment that we
Yeah.
work with NCAA. There's staging. There's in some form or fashion, there's quantities. There is ease of like, do we put the hurdles on hurdle carts? So even though it's indoors, they're just going to be the same place, like, but that helps move them out of the way for the
Yeah.
60, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. What crossbars we bring. There's a lot of decisions. We
Yeah.
rely on guys like you, our leads. Tim
Hmm.
overseeing Division I, you in Division II, and Rob over in Division III. I've told you this 100 times. We don't pay you for your good looks. We pay you for your intelligence and your
Yeah.
opinions. Like that's why we want you. We want you to covet your experience and want to leverage that. Have you been able to have any kind of input on how we do, whether it's division, usually if it's for Division II, it's for everybody. Like, it's rare that we do something for one, but not the other. Have you been able to see how, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm not in those meetings anymore, but have
Yeah.
you been
Yeah.
able to have any
Definitely.
input? But you've only done three, which is,
Yeah. So I feel like I'm still kind of new, so no like major input, obviously. But
it doesn't have to be major, by the way.
yeah, yeah.
I
It's
get what you're
just
saying.
little things. How many of certain equipment, like
Yeah.
how much do we need to bring?
Yeah.
Like little input like that. Yeah. It's like after having little input, because everything's kind of running smoothly as I got there.
Hmm.
So I got lucky.
Hmm. Hmm.
But one thing I would say I forgot what I was going with that. Oh, having a great site leads like with the
Uh,
sites like
oh,
Indiana
oh,
State.
hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
like then.
Hmm.
And then obviously having Walt with me, he's been
Hmm.
great to work with. So he's easy to work with and he's
Because
fun to work with.
I'm looking at, I have our working genius map right here, and so I'm trying to think of like, for your geniuses are in wonderment and tenacity. You're one of those
Yeah.
where you're like, man, I got a lot of big questions, but I also just I want to check it off the list
Check it
here.
off. Yeah.
That's a unique thing. And by the way, if you're listening and you just heard me say working genius list and map and stuff like that, great author and kind of a work. I don't know what I would call him, but he really cares about how you work and your happiness. His name is Patrick Lencioni. You might have heard his work in The Ideal Team Player, Humble, Hungry, Smart, Five Dysfunctions of a Team, etc. Well, he came up with an assessment called the Working Genius, and we use that with our team here to help find out what they are naturally gifted at, what they love to do, what they would do 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. What a good timing that was right there if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
And what are their frustrations? God makes us in strengths and weaknesses. We're not, even decathletes have weaknesses, right? They can do a lot of events that weaknesses. And so then we try to help put our people into those geniuses so they can do more of that, and they'll be more enjoyable at work. They'll have more better time and we'll all get better. And Payton's is wonderment. So big question, like, why do we do that? Have we ever thought about doing that? Did we try that? And then tenacity. And that is like I said, checking out the box. Okay, we delivered the equipment. Okay, the social is set for this time period, those kind of things. And so I'm always for you, because mine, Payton, were wonderment and invention. So
Mhm.
we're halvesies. Tenacity was last for me, by the way, as you probably know from
Yeah.
working with me. So I'm always trying to make sure that like I'm blessing that. And so you have those questions. Now you're not the guy, you don't have invention as your second one. And I don't think, oh
Uh,
yeah, invention's your frustration. That's
yeah.
interesting. So you're not the kind of guy who is going to ask that big question, wonderment, and then give like three examples of how it might be fixed. That's me. I'm going to give you the three. Have we tried this? Have we tried that? Have we tried that? So I want to make sure that we're leveraging your wonderment of like, you're looking at things different. Hey, I wonder why did we bring 60 hurdles and not 70? Because then that might have solved this issue. I want to make sure that you are asking those questions out loud, not just keeping them up here. Don't do us any good if you keep them up there.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely have, but I feel like for my first couple,
Yeah.
it was more, just go there, get stuff done, make sure
Yeah.
I'm good.
Makes a lot of sense. And, we have been doing this for a few years before you, so we have nailed down a lot of things.
Oh
But
yeah.
you know us, we're always, we push the envelope. We always want to get better, create new ways, new processes, new things. So I want to make sure we're always
Yeah.
leveraging.
There's been a few things that I've probably asked Walt that we've done and
Yeah,
changed, but
yeah.
just can't think of them.
Yeah. You've mentioned Walt twice now. We have to give a shout out. We almost named this the Gill Shout Out Podcast, man. Walt Zinner, he's in our R&D area. He's an Iowa State grad. He loves his Cyclones. And just one of the coolest, I mean, you would have to agree with me. One of the coolest dudes. Like, you got luck. We have great people, but man, I love going to D2s with Walt.
Yep. Walt's a baller.
He's well, actual, is he 6'4"?
I
6'4",
don't know.
6'5"? He's a
He's
tall joker.
he's tall. He's solid at basketball. I play basketball with him.
He's solid. I know. I know. Love that dude. So I always want to give a shout out to the people that are, and he's doing a lot of work, man. God bless that
Yeah,
dude's
he's
always working.
awesome.
That's all nice and good, and we love serving the NCAA and the championships. Proud to be the NCAA equipment sponsor as well as NFHS and things. IHSA state meet this year, which is going to be fun. Our teammate Max is leading that up for us. But you are a sales professional. Your job is to sell stuff, and we always say your job is to get Gill on every track in the country, my friend. And maybe we'll give you a little bit of a pass, and we'll say get Gill on every track on the east side
East side,
of the
yeah.
state. I guess I can't bark at you too much for California or Texas. I'll get on to Rob for that one. And by the way, we mentioned several of our teammates. Tim Glover, he's been on the podcast before. Go check him out. Rob Matthias, our West Coast guy, he's been on the podcast. Go check him out. So, I'm just collecting all the teammates. We're gonna have them all together here. So, do you remember, because you've had some good ones, my friend, and I know it's hard to sometimes to remember them because as soon as you get one, you have to move on to the next one. Do you remember either your very first sale, whether it's through a dealer or not, or because that's pretty, you might have sold a baton right off the bat, or do you remember your first or a project that stands out? You've helped some dealers, you've helped some schools with some really cool projects, my friend.
Oh man, it's tough because you're just like you said, you just move on to the next.
Right.
But I would say I remember my first sale pretty clearly.
Yeah.
It was just a high jump pit,
Mm-hmm.
and I forgot where,
Mm-hmm.
but I just remember that process for the first time, and that's when I was like, wow, I didn't realize so many people are interested in pits because I
Mm.
never, growing up at Software, we had one pit
Right.
and throughout it all. And actually, that's another big thing that I remember. I sold Salt Fork a new high jump pit.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, so
Oh,
that's probably the coolest thing
that's
to
cool.
me that I've done. And
Sure.
seeing
It's
that out there,
yeah. That's your kid, your teammates, brothers of your teammates, your
yeah, it's awesome.
coaches. Yeah. I didn't
Yeah.
know that. That's so
Yep.
cool.
So that happened. I
Oh
want to say a
man.
couple months ago.
That's
And
cool.
then another thing with back to Salt Fork. So I sold my dad some basketball hoops. I know it's not Gill, but some rims to go on.
That's
So
cool.
Salt Fork's wrapping some Porter rims now.
He's mentioning basketball, and obviously, if you're listening to this, you understand Gill track and field, but the entire company much bigger. Baseball items, soccer items, basketball, volleyball, facility. I mean, it's amazing. Gill's a big part of that, of course, and that's what Payton here oversees for our East Coast. But yeah, we man, I don't care if we selling rims, I want to sell it all,
Yeah.
baby. I love what our people in the back make for us, and so I'm always proud to sell. I don't As long as it comes from us, man. The great people behind it. And that's what I care about. So that's really cool. That's cool. You got to sell a high jump pit to your alma mater. My
Oh
my,
yeah.
my high school, I think, is still on the same high jump pit that I had back when, and it wasn't good when I was back there. We did sell a bunch of them. We used to sell this stuff, plates to they did a big big football school.
Oh
And I
yeah.
remember seeing a bunch of Power Max,
Oh cool.
yeah, through PSN sold it. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool, man. I really
Yeah.
appreciate that.
I think we still had the Pacer pits.
Oh,
I'm,
oof,
I'm
yeah,
all-
that's,
we I remember jumping on black Pacer bits when I
oh,
was in.
bro.
Yeah.
I've been here 20 years and we changed all Pacer to Gill on the pits before me. Like that was
Oh
one of
yeah.
Steve's big things. So that's got to be a 23-ish plus year bit. What's cool about it is
Yeah.
that it was still going though. It needed replacement, but 20 plus years, it's
I
pretty
know.
good.
I think So we had two separate pits, one actual black gill one that's been there for forever,
Mm-hmm.
and then one black pacer one, which they
Mm.
just kind of bring around for
Literally has been
whatever,
there
like indoor
forever.
practice. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that was awesome to see.
That's so cool. Love that.
Yep.
In your role in as sales, not just necessarily East Coast Division two and stuff like that, you mentioned how many people, like there's a lot of people. I mean, you've taken phone calls from every state in this country and maybe even some international calls, man.
Yeah.
It's quite amazing. But we're so blessed, we get to talk to some really cool people, including up to Olympians, man. In fact, I just
Mhm.
had yesterday a great conversation with one of my dear friends that I met through Gill, and now consider him a dear friend. I mean, like friend, John Gadina. I assume, yeah, okay. You better,
Yeah.
as my throws guy, you better know who John
Yeah.
Gadina. Have you had an experience to talk to somebody that it's like, holy cow, I cannot believe I get to talk
Ye-
to and work with so and so.
Yeah. So actually, Joe and Ashley Kovacs, that was one that,
Yeah, some of my favorite people.
yeah. So with throwbacks, got to get to know Joe a little bit and work with
Yeah.
him.
Oh,
And growing up,
so cool.
I always looked up to Joe as a
Yeah,
thrower. Always watched his videos and anything that him or Ashley posted.
absolutely.
So working with those two have been great, and
That's
just I
awesome.
thought that was a pretty cool.
100%. So John calls me yesterday, Jeff Hartwig calls me today, and I still, and like I said, I consider these like they're no longer, John Godino, the Olympian, and Jeff Hartwig, the Olympian. Now they're John and Jeff to me. And I still have to pinch myself of like, bro, they call me like they're interested in me. Like, they're talking, asking how my family, like it just
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. And Ashley
cool.
and Joe, who I've known forever, two of my favorite people in the entire world. Ashley, did you see? You're a youngin. You're on social media. Did you see Ashley just inducted into her school's Hall of Fame and
Yes,
and
saw
named
that.
the Ashley? That's
Awesome.
so
Yep.
cool, man. Oh my gosh, shame on me. I need to get Ashley on the podcast.
Yeah, she'd
She's
be
a
awesome.
hell of a coach, obviously.
Uh-huh.
Has coached at some many great places and has some great mentors herself. I need to get her on the show. She's an amazing human being. I've enjoyed working with her, and I'm so happy with what they're doing with throwbacks and everything.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
that's been cool, huh? I'm happy for you, man. That's cool. You deserve to meet cool people because you're a cool person. So I like when we can make that kind of stuff
Thanks.
happen. That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. Peyton,
Yes, sir.
I'll ask you one more question, and I alluded to this in the pre-interview, I've got a little bit of a surprise for you. My question before we get there is, what is, as you look towards the future, and you get to define that 3 months. Oh, and by the way, hold on. I got to publicly state this. My guy Peyton just got married like weeks ago. His beautiful new bride, she herself was a heck of an athlete, a combined
Yes, she
events.
was. Hmm.
Beautiful young lady who is fit into the family. I say the Gill family when we do our Christmas and stuff. We enjoy having her. And I just got to publicly say congratulations, brother. Proud of you.
Thanks, Mike.
Really, I've told you this in person. So happy for you and bless you. And
Appreciate it.
want to just be a role model and help her in any way in marriage. It's an important part. So I love
Thank you.
that. Okay, now back to our program. As you look towards the future, and you get to define that 3 months, 1 year, 5 year, I don't know. Does you get to define this, your show.
Yep.
What's got you excited, man? Around track and field, and I know your marriage excites you and things like that, and it should, but what's got you excited about
Um,
Gill, track and field, anything like that?
yeah, so next big thing for me with Gill that I'm excited for, Division 2, outdoors,
Yeah, where are we going? Emporia.
Emporia, Kansas.
Yeah. Have you,
So
have you ever been?
I've I have never been, but I've heard only good things
Yeah,
about
it's a
it.
great
So I
place.
was super excited for another outdoor D2. Last year was Pueblo. That was awesome.
That was cool. Yeah.
Awesome, yeah. So excited to get out there to Kansas and see a
Yeah.
good meet.
That's awesome. Are you flying or driving out there? I'm flying.
We are driving
I
now.
say I think we drive it goes back and forth. I know from different reasons, but you're driving that.
Yeah, we were gonna fly out, but the
Yeah.
timing of it just kind of were like, let's just drive. So I think
Yeah.
it's 7.5. So
Yeah.
we're just
Yeah.
gonna drive.
It's you have your destiny in your hand if you drive. I've got to fly because I'm coming from I might be coming from am I coming from the Under Armour Championships for that? I don't know. That's about that
Hmm.
7 week block where I'm out of the
Everywhere.
office pretty much the whole time.
Yeah.
What else? Anything else got you excited, my friend?
Um, I mean, I feel like so much. Just meeting with dealers is always exciting. Um, Coming up. Oh, excited to, just this isn't Gill related,
Yeah.
but kind of is, I
Yeah. Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
But
No.
track and field, just watching my brother finish outdoor season this
Yeah.
year. Hopefully, he'll
What
be at
year?
regionals. He's
What
a
year's
junior.
he? He's a okay, good. So we got a little bit of time as well. So
Yeah, so hopefully
yeah.
he'll be at regionals in Arkansas, and I'll go down there with him and
Oh,
check
that'd
check
be
it out.
so
Hopefully.
cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell him he needs to make sure that happens. That's
Yeah,
good.
last year he was right there, and then the last couple weeks, he just kept getting passed. But right now he's sitting at like 18th in the West, maybe.
Is he
So we'll see.
really?
I think
Oh,
so.
dude, bro, it's so hard. It's that 48th kid that makes it. I'm like, dude, you're a stud. It's
Yeah.
amazing. And the 49th, the first person out, you're a stud. Like
Yeah.
these coaches are coaching their tails off, and it shows in
Hmm.
the marks,
It's
man.
awesome. Yeah.
You could be a pretty good shot putter back in the day and made a regionals. Now you got to be a really good shot putter just to make regionals. I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's just crazy. Okay, are you ready for the
Surprise.
surprise?
I don't like
Do
surprises.
you have
If you
any idea at
no.
all what we're about to move into?
Oh, I have no idea.
I love that. So, Payton, we all love you and are so proud to call you teammate. And we have the greatest teammates in the world. And so, when we scheduled this, I reached out to our teammates and said, "Hey, let's have a little fun. What question would you ask Peyton
Oh
on the
gosh.
podcast?" So I've got a list of questions, and the way I'm going to ask them, I'm going to ask you the questions, and then I'm going to have you answer, obviously, but then you're going to guess who you think asked that question.
That's gonna be hard.
I'll narrow it down a little bit here for you. It's your direct team, so Rob, Max, Adam, Tim, and then also Dio, of course.
Oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
Dio wanted to get in this little party. So that's your options.
Okay.
Are you ready for the first one?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right, if you could go back and coach your younger self, would you double down on the glide or fully commit to the rotation earlier? And how much farther do you think that would have taken you?
Oh.
They're not all as analytical as this, by the way.
This
Just
is Rob question. That's my guess.
wow. Nice.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So what would you do to your younger self? Double down on
Um.
the glide or double down on the rotation?
Uh. I glided up until my junior year, so I probably would have gone into rotation a little bit sooner, just because that's what I did in college. Probably,
Mhm.
yeah, probably started practicing rotation a little bit sooner.
I led a Q&A in Texas with Boosh Exnader. Do you know Boosh Exnader, that name? More known as a jumps. I could be okay that a throws guy
What
maybe does.
school did he coach?
Last was LSU.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And he coaches everything. I mean, he's just a genius. And I remember a throws coach asking, "Hey, how early would you introduce the rotation to a shot putter?" And he said immediately. He goes, "If you're going
Yeah.
to," he goes, "Don't." They are two different, almost like the 12 and 16. They're two different events. Don't do glide and then go into like if you think they're going to be rotation, start it from day one. And I was like, interesting.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. And each person could have asked more than one question. And
Oh
so I'm going to
no.
ask, I'm okay. So you still got to guess. Growing up, and I love this question here. Growing up with a brother, because we talked about Garrett a little bit here. And Garrett, I know you're listening, brother. Just know that we're all rooting for you. We love you, man. We love you because Peyton's your brother, just so you know. He is the older brother here, but Garrett, we're rooting for you, my friend. Growing up with a brother, who was your confidant, sorry, competition, and occasionally the guy standing between you and seconds at the dinner table. I'm not making this up. What was harder, sharing secrets with him or sharing the podium? And be honest, who won more backyard throwing contest?
Oh man, that question was packed. Like towards the end of that.
What was harder, sharing secrets with Garrett or sharing the podium? And be honest, who won more backyard throwing contest?
Sharing the podium, I guess. But
Because you're
that's
competitive with them? Like, it's like,
yeah,
yeah, I
yeah.
love my brother, but I want to beat my
Well,
brother.
I mean, it goes more than just track and field with like
Mm,
me and him are like we can be playing video games. Like we still play video games today
uh-huh.
against each other, and it gets pretty dicey. Like we'll be just yelling at each other.
Did mom and
Like,
dad have to separate you two a lot?
oh, at time, yeah, definitely growing up, yeah. Like there
Awesome.
was, I mean, it was all for good. Like there were some times that we might have gone overboard a little bit,
That's what brothers are
but
for.
yeah, yeah. For throwing competitions outside, I would say, I mean, at the time, I was older, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I took more. But if we did it, now,
Yeah.
obviously, he's much better than me, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What video games are you guys going at it with each other right now?
um,
What's the game of the season?
so back in college, it was always Fortnite against each other. Just
Yeah.
1v1, and then
Hmm.
Call of Duty 1v1. Or now we moved on to Madden
I was about to say
101.
no Madden or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, Madden or we play Arc Raiders, but we're on a team.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's usually when we're arguing, it's
Yeah, yeah,
usually
yeah.
we're
Why
on
did
the
you go
same
do
team.
that? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and then I usually blame him for about every mistake I do just because he's my brother and I can do
yeah.
that.
Little brother, exactly. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah.
Who asked that question, you think?
That's man. See, Dio wouldn't know. I don't know if he knows I have a younger brother.
Well, you're really analyzing this one. That's good. I love
I
that.
know. Secrets or man, I want to say. mm, Sound,
A little bit of a
I'm
trick,
going with
little bit of a
yeah.
trick question. That was Rob, and a continuation question.
Okay, okay.
Since you
See,
nailed Rob on the very first one, I was like, well, I'm kind of, I could see where you wouldn't want to
I
pick
would
Rob
have.
next. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if that was my first question, I would have said Rob.
Right, 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 right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. That's why I was like, let me. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah,
Next question. What was your first impression of your college teammate, now work teammate, Max?
I'm guessing Max
Yeah,
asked
it
this.
was. He had it on here. We did not talk a lot in college.
Um,
Max in charge of our central or whatnot. You'll call it Illinois Midwest area, and is a pole vaulter. So Mr. Thrower over here, Mr. Pole Vaulter, not a lot of crossover maybe. What was your first impression of Max?
I don't remember the first time we actually talked because my group I hung out with, the throws group, my freshman year, we hung out with the pole vaulters, but he wasn't there quite as much, I guess, because it was an older group. But I thought he was a cool dude. But I know his
You don't have to
girlfriend.
look, man. You can be real
I
here.
mean, I didn't really know him that
Okay,
great
all
in
right,
college. I just
okay.
never hung out with him.
Hmm.
But I actually got to know him a little bit more once he left because he was dating Ella, which was
All right.
is friends with Gracie.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
he was around there and we kind of talked a little bit
What do you think
then.
of him
And
now as a teammate? You've been teammates for a while together now. What do you think of old Max on the team?
oh, he's awesome. He's funny. I'm we're close with golf, I think. So we
Oh,
talk a lot
oh,
about golf.
I don't want to get into guys, these guys, if we weren't a track company, God bless these guys would be a golf company. Trust me. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we
You
should look
guys,
into it.
I'm good.
Golf shafts?
I told my wife the other day what you said when told you,
Oh yeah.
that's what it's going to be her old lady sport. And you're like, oh, and you can't. I was like, nope. And you're like, yeah, but you can. I was like, nope.
Yeah.
I told her, I was like, yeah, man, you do your thing, honey. It's okay.
That's funny.
Okay, love it. We love Max, and we're hoping to have
He's
Max
awesome.
on the podcast one day too. Because Max, I know you're listening to this, so hint, hint, hint. We'd like to have you
Yeah.
on the show as well. Okay, next question, and you got to guess who asked it. If your team, this is, I love this one. If your team were to describe you in two words,
Oh,
what would you hope they would be? This is a really good question. I like this a lot, actually.
2 words.
If your team were to describe you in two words, what would you hope they would be? So not what you think they would be. What would you hope they would be?
Um, I hope they would be. That's more than one word. I I want to say. I'm just gonna say it. Kind and hardworking. Those are my. I'll put
Oh,
hardworking into one.
yeah. I'm from Alabama. I'd probably make that one word anyway if I
Yeah.
spelled it. Until Microsoft Word told me I was doing it wrong, I'd probably just say it.
Yeah.
Kind and hardworking. Why do you hope
Yep.
those two words? First of all, I think you are one of the most kindest people I know, so that makes a lot of sense. Why'd you pick
Thanks.
those two words?
Um, I think just because I don't, growing up, my thing was I had to be the hardest working person. And just my parents instilled that into me as a young age. Like, if you're
Yeah.
not being a hard worker, then
What are you
not,
doing?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Just like if you're going to do something, go all out on something.
Yeah.
That's how my mind is wired. So that's kind of where I stand on that.
Mhm.
And just being kind, I don't want people to think I'm not kind. I don't know. I like being nice to people, like, making people happy and smile and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Well, I think that's right. Who asked that?
I don't want to say Tim, but I haven't said Tim.
Now you want to guess again?
Adam.
Adam. Nice.
I wonder what Tim's question's going to be.
If you had next question, if you had this is a funny one. I like this. This is what I was going for. This is great. If you had a magic button on your desk to bring you anything, what would it summon?
Oh, no, that's awesome. I could name a few things.
Okay, multiple buttons. What would you?
Okay, I would go with coffee,
What's your
hot
coffee?
coffee, just
T-
black hot coffee.
Straight black. That's what you're drinking every morning
Go
when I
to.
see. Okay.
Yes, sir. With
Yeah.
my two containers of coffee that I walk in with.
Yeah, two, sometimes three. Sure, sure, sure.
Um, Coffee, a Diet Coke.
That'd be mine. The Diet Coke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Diet Coke.
Hmm.
Oh, and then I gotta throw in tacos.
Ooh. Tell me about your taco order. You soft shell, hard
Well,
shell, beef,
well, I
pork.
am so basic. So today for lunch, I had two tacos.
You said you're so basic. Okay. All right. All right.
I am
Okay.
tacos, chicken or beef, and then cheese on top. And
That's
that's it.
it. No sour
Yeah,
cream, no
no,
guac.
usually no.
Oh man, I love the guac, bro.
That's why I'm kind of basic, just
Yeah, 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 yeah. And did you say soft shell or hard shell?
soft.
Yeah, I think so too. Who's still eating hard shell tacos?
I mean, I would eat them. I remember birthday parties growing up, they had an option of always soft or hard,
Yeah,
and I would just mix them up, mix between the two of them. But
yeah.
I feel like hard shells just gets messy.
Does Taco Bell still? They used to, you'd get a hard shell, but they would wrap it with they'd kind of make it stick together with like refried beans. And so
Oh,
even so, when the hard shell broke it, it was okay because you had the soft shell on the outside. I wonder if they still
I
do that.
don't know, but they do have a cheesy gordita crunch. You ever hear that?
Hmm.
Hard shell wrapped in soft shell,
Is it a soft
and
shell
then
or is it that thick
the
bread one?
thick, thick.
Yeah, I don't. I have had that. I'm not a fan.
I've had it a few times,
Yeah,
and I do like it.
yeah, I'm okay. Where I go to get my tattoos done is I have to get lunch on the way home. There's a Taco Bell, and I went there a couple times. I never feel good going to Taco Bell. Like
Yeah,
I get excited, like, oh, I haven't been to Taco Bell forever. And then when I eat, I'm like, this wasn't.
I haven't gotten it in so
Yeah.
long, but in college I got it a decent amount.
Same with McDonald's. Every time I eat McDonald's,
Oh
I
yeah,
love the fries, but man, I just don't feel good. Like not only physically
yeah,
but mentally. I just don't like, oh, why did I do
same.
that?
Yeah.
I've been going to the Popeyes on the way back and getting the
Oh,
chicken sandwich with the
yeah.
fries. The fries are amazing. Chicken sandwich is really good.
Uh-huh. Yeah, there's
What was that? If you had a magic button over there, did you guess who was that?
Dio,
Nope.
Tim.
Nope.
Oh my gosh. Who am I missing here? Wait, I guess they can ask more than
Remember,
one
they can
question.
ask multiples.
Max.
Max Schweitzer. Very good. All
Hmm.
right, next question. We still got a couple. We got about three, I think, three or four. And we're good on time. So good. I'm a captive audience. We've lost everybody. It's just me and you and Max and Dio and those guys and your mom and Garrett listening at this point. So you could just be completely honest and open here. Next question.
Hmm.
If you could read anyone's mind at the office, whose mind would you read? That's scary, man. Woo. I sometimes don't want to read my own mind. Who would you pick in the office?
Mike, I feel like it would be fun to read your mind someday.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I was going to obligatory ask, and why? Why, sir? Why would you want to read the
I
ramblings that are up here, sir?
don't know. I feel like you're always walking around and talking, saying good morning to everyone. And you got to be thinking of something else. Like when you see someone after they say good morning, I just would love to. And in meetings, when you're sitting in the corner, I just would love to read your mind.
I'll give you a little inside, but pulled the curtain behind. When I go around and say good morning to everybody, it's a little bit of my something I started a little while ago, a little bit of my faith of it's like a little prayer for each of
Yeah.
you. You know,
Hmm.
like it's important to me, when I come around to you guys, we do a little fist bump and it
Yeah.
seems so benign, it's almost like handshake or whatever. Just it's very small, it's nothing special. We don't do the all that kind of stuff, but it's a little bit of my touch of like, man, I love you. I'm so glad I get to call you teammates.
Yeah.
That's kind of what's going on in my mind, to be real frank
But
with you.
for funny purposes,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I would love to read Dio's mind.
Oh, bro,
Oh, that would
laugh a
be
minute, right? I mean, come on, that dude
it
is
would be
awesome.
hilarious.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
that dude's awesome. I love that.
yeah. That would be hilarious.
I love that. Who asked that question?
Dio.
It was Dio. Man,
I'm reading his
That's a
mind.
Dio question. You're already in there.
Hmm.
Next question. This is such a fun question. What keeps you smiling every time you walk in the building? You are an easy to smile dude, man. I love it.
That's a Dio question too, I feel
It
like.
is a deal,
Yep.
man. You are on a roll, brother.
Um, I don't know, just everyone here is great, and it's hard to be in a bad mood here when everyone else is not in a bad mood. Like everyone's happy and joyful and fun to be around and nice and kind. It's just a fun place to be.
Yeah. It is hard. It is hard to have a bad day here. Now we're humans. We have
Oh
our
yeah.
bad days, but brother,
Yeah.
it's hard. All right. Very good. Who asked that question? Sorry.
Dio.
What's Dio? Man. Well, that only leaves one person.
Timothy.
And he asked several questions.
Oh goodness.
Now, his first one, I think we've already covered. I'm sure you have a few on. Oh, okay. He's saying to me, I'm sure you have a few on college choices and throw in ISU. We talked about that. He's right. We had
Yeah.
a few questions on that. So we'll start with this question. If you could go back to high school, what's one thing you would tell yourself to do differently or to look out for? A little similar to that Rob question of, the rotation versus the glide, but but now this has opened up past sports. Now this could be what classes to take,
Um,
whether to date Gracie or not. What would you go back and tell yourself to do differently or to look out for?
I would say going into college, I'm going into college, what I would tell myself a little differently
Hmm.
is to not, yeah, kind of get out of my bubble a bit more, but
Yeah, I could see that.
talk to more people and just
Hmm.
try to learn a little bit more of,
Hmm.
I worked hard in school, but more than that,
Yeah.
like connect with people, make more connections, I would say.
Yeah, I could see that. I won't take full credit, but you needed me in your ear back then.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. I love that. That's good. Appreciate that. Okay, these are the last two. These are good ones here. It's a good way to end the question period and the interview here. Tim says, "What part of your?" I told you guys, it's nothing but golf with these guys. What part of your golf game would you like to improve the most?
Oh, all of it. But right now, I, my irons, maybe. Yeah,
Okay,
irons.
so is that your short game? Is that what we would call that?
Um, yeah, like I want to improve my 5 through pitching wedge.
Okay,
So short game, yeah. My chipping's doing good right now. I just chipped in twice last week.
nice.
Just letting you
Just
know.
saying. Yeah, 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 very good.
Yeah. And putting's solid, but if I could improve my irons and some wedges, just I can't control my distances. So if I could I hit it straight, but it's either over or short.
Sure, sure. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So if I could control my distances,
Hmm.
I would be happy.
Okay. How do you guys, this is my question, not Tim's, like, I know there's a handicap, but you have to do something to get that handicap. Are you guys that far? Or are you still just like, oh
No,
yeah, on average I shoot
I
X
am
for,
not that far
so you're
yet.
not doing that. So what do
No.
you on average shoot for 18 then? Like maybe that's a,
Oh, the pins.
like,
So
you're not over 100, are you?
no.
Okay. That's what I
Well,
thought.
I could be. I
Yeah,
could be if I,
correct. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
yeah,
a good round for you would be,
nine. If I could break 90,
yeah.
that would be a good
Yeah,
round.
that's huge. I'm still trying to break 90 on nine, so
Yeah.
that's
I
cool.
mean,
Yeah, yeah.
I really got into it once college got over. I
Hmm.
just picked it up and I was horrible. I was shooting like 120s.
Hmm.
So And then the driving range is right down the street. So when I take
Mm-hmm.
lunch and
Mm-hmm.
go practice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think I've told you this before. One of my favorite authors, podcasters is Malcolm Gladwell. Does that name ring a bell? He
I,
wrote Outliers, the rule of
yeah.
10,000 hours. Yeah, he's the one who came up with that. And he did on one of his podcasts, he got the US Golf Association's like to get your handicap, you have to like log
Yeah.
and all this kind of stuff on certain courses and all that kind of stuff. So he got the data from all that. So he wouldn't tell us any names, but the names were on there. And he cross-referenced these people who some were playing. I mean, you guys play a lot, and these people would shame you how much they're
Yeah.
playing. And got all the CEOs of publicly traded companies because all it's USGA, it's everybody, right? And the more times a CEO golfed, the worse the stock did in the stock market.
Really?
It was almost a direct inverse proportion there
Yeah.
that if a CEO was golfing more, they're not running the company very well.
Yeah.
They think they are, right? Because we talk about golf being, it's a business sport, and you go on you talk business on the links and all that kind of stuff. I think it's a detriment. I don't know. Maybe things will
I
be
can
different.
see it takes a lot of time. So it
Yeah,
depends
yeah,
on how they,
yeah,
what they're doing.
yeah, yeah. I got nothing at all. I don't even like going to putt-putt. Okay, last question, my friend, from our good sales manager, Tim Glover. Let me make sure I'm asking this right. Rate yourself on 1 to 10 on how good you are at axe throwing. I know there's
That's
inside jokes there. I'm not going to ask for them,
that's
but we
crazy.
have an axe bar. If you've never been to an axe bar, you're not missing anything, by the way, but I know these guys love it. What would you rate
I
yourself 1 to
I
10?
mean, a five. Rick Moore, Paul Sargent,
Love them.
Tim and I got not whoops. We got it's on me. I couldn't get the axe to stick in the wood.
I get it.
So now every time they see me, they bring up axe throwing.
Oh, is that right? That's what everybody's.
Yeah. So next time they come to Champaign, I will be ready.
Are you practicing?
I haven't practiced, but I have a
When you
treat.
know that they
Yeah,
come
yeah.
up, you're going to start
Well,
practicing.
for the like, I will practice. I'll go on YouTube and search. I will be ready. I promise you that.
Let me tell you what Paul and Rick are not going to do. They're not going on YouTube to figure out how to do
Yep.
better. You're going to have the upper hand on this one.
Oh yeah, I'm
I
ready.
love I love it. Peyton, this was easier than you thought, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah,
it was
I
awesome.
love that. Dude, again, just so proud to call you teammate, man. You make us better. I'm excited. Again, I've been here 20 years. I can sort of remember what I was doing a year and a half in. You are doing so much more than I was at a year and a half in. We rely on you. We ask you to do big things. We ask you to participate in a lot of very important conversations. And I think that is just a testament to your intelligence, to your people that helped you grow up, your mom, your dad, your brother, and coaches along the way. And just so grateful to call you team. And I'm just so thankful that you would trust me to sit down with us here on the show and share your journey with our listeners. And just grateful and looking forward to the future, man. I love doing this profession with you, my friend.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. This was
Absolutely.
pretty fun.
Awesome, man. Perfect. I love that. Make sure you
Yeah.
spread the word when I ask the other teammates to be on the show. Say, hey, man, it's not as bad as you think. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not. I always tell people I'm never going to lose a customer over these interviews, right? I'm not going to lose a
Yeah.
teammate over these things either, brother. I
No.
just want to know more about you. And I'm just so grateful for you guys and gals being here. I hope you enjoyed this. It's real people that are behind these phones and these emails, working with our amazing dealer network out there, helping manufacture the greatest track and field equipment in the world. And I'm just always so giddy to be able to share with you their stories, their journeys. We've had, like I said, Tim Glover, who was a two-time national champion javelin thrower. He's here as our sales manager. He's been on the show. Rob Matthias, who oversees our West Side, great 800, 1500 meter runner back in the day. His children both running in college now. So proud of his kids and what they're doing. He's been on the podcast. And then we've got a couple others that are coming up soon. Hopefully they'll get their invites here soon. I like them to get a little experience, not right off the bat. So it took a year and a half for Payton to get on here. So we'll get the other guys on here soon. But thank you so much again for being here. I hope you are enjoying what we are doing here on the Gill podcast. Make sure to share with a friend, a coworker. Maybe there's this is episode 300 and something, right? So that means there's 300 and something back log here. Go back and check out the library. Amazing men and women who thankfully choose to be track and field coaches. Thanks a lot. Join us next week and we'll do it all over again. See you guys.